In this video, I'm going to go over how to download and set up StreamerBot, and we're going to go over a few basic commands that will hopefully give you a better understanding of StreamerBot's user interface. Let's jump right in. First things first, we need to go to streamer.bot and click this download button. And once that's downloaded, you can go to the file location and unzip it wherever you want in your system. Once you have that folder open, you just find StreamerBot and it should be an application type, and you can launch it from there. Now, once we have StreamerBot opened, the first thing we're going to want to do is go to platforms and connect your Twitch, YouTube, or Trovo account. And to do that, go to Twitch and then go to accounts and then log in. And then you just authorize that. Should log you in successfully. You can just go back to StreamerBot. Now we have that connected. There's also an option to connect a bot account. And that, if you choose to do that, you can have all of your chat messages sent through your bot account instead of your main. Next thing we're going to want to do is connect our stream app. I use Meld Studio, but there's also OBS, Streamlabs, Meld, and Polypop on here. So just connect whichever one you use. And I'm going to go over how to connect Meld and OBS because there's a couple of steps to do it. To do OBS, first we need to launch it. We're going to go to Tools and then WebSocket Server Settings. And here you just need to click this box that says Enable WebSocket Server. And then you can click Show Connect Info. And then you just copy your password and then go back into StreamerBot. And on OBS, you right click and click Add. And then you can give it whatever name you want to. I'm just going to call it OBS. And then under your password, you just paste that in. You're going to want to click Auto Connect on Startup and Reconnect on Disconnect. And those will essentially just make sure that your OBS gets connected once you launch the app. And if you happen to disconnect for some reason, every 30 seconds, it will try to reestablish that connection. And you click OK. And you'll see right here it says disconnected. For your first time, once you add a connection, you just need to right click it again and then click connect. And now we're connected. And to double check that your connection is solid, you can just look here and make sure that the scene that's currently active shows up, and then it should also show a list of the sources available within that scene. And to do Meld Studio, which is what we're currently using, you can bring that over. You're going to want to go to File, Preferences, and then under Advanced, you're going to want to allow remote connections. And once you do that, you can right click and click on Add under Meld, and you can just call it Meld or Meld Studio, whatever you want, and then Auto Connect, Reconnect. Click OK. And again, you just need to right click this and click Connect, and now it's showing. And before we get into making any actual actions, we're just gonna quickly go through each of these tabs and describe what they do so you guys have a better understanding of how it works. In your actions, this is going to be the main tab that you're going to use. This is where all of your actions are going to live. It's going to control what triggers those actions and the sub actions that it takes. Then you have action queues, and this you can separate different actions into different queues so they process at different speeds. Commands, this is where all of your chat commands and different things are going to live. And within it, you're going to be able to control different aliases, who can activate that command, whether it has a counter on it, the cooldowns, all of that kind of stuff. That's all going to be within commands. Platforms and stream apps, we went over briefly. Under platforms, you can go to Twitch and you can click channel point rewards. And here you'll see a list of the channel point rewards that are already on your Twitch. You'll see up at the top there's an owned column, and you'll see some of them say no and they're grayed out, and then some of them say yes. The ones that say no are ones that you made within Twitch, so you won't be able to control a lot of the stuff. You can set a counter and you can put them in a group to organize them, but you won't be able to control how much it costs or the name or description or any of that kind of stuff. And the ones that you say yes, those are the ones that are created within StreamerBot. I have a different instance of StreamerBot, so that's why some of these are showing yes. Integrations, these are entirely optional, but if you use things like Elgato Stream Deck or Stream Elements, if you use Streamlabs as your streaming software, you can create integrations directly to those programs through this tab. I'm going to talk more about that in a different video coming up pretty soon when we go more in depth and do some more advanced things within StreamerBot. Voice control. This is a cool thing that StreamerBot does. It's not always perfect and it doesn't always pick up the words correctly, but you can create commands and actions to activate when you just say certain phrases or words. We're gonna not play with that. That will also be in the later video. We go into some more advanced stuff, and we can go to our settings tab here. This is where you'll find your system default output device. You can go to settings and then general, and then your audio output device will be right here, and you can select that. There's also your user interface settings. We won't go over most of these, but this is where all of your general settings are. Now that we have a little bit better understanding of the different tabs, we're gonna get into creating some actions. So the first action we're going to make is a lurking command. So that it's just going to be a chat command. If someone types !lurk, then it will respond in the chat. So to do that, we're going to go to our actions tab and we're going to create a new action. We're going to call it lurk. And you can set a group here. If you have groups already, you can click it from the drop down. This is just a way to organize your different actions and commands and stuff. We're going to leave the queue as default, and we're going to leave that checked to enabled. Click OK. Now your triggers are going to be what triggers this action. So if you want it to be a command, there's a specific trigger for that, which is what we're going to do. If you want something to trigger off of a new follower or a new sub through Twitch, you can do that. There's a lot of different things which we'll see here. You can have it be through Meld, you can have it be through OBS, Elgato. I mean, there's a lot of different triggers here. But to get to ours, we're going to go to Core, Commands, and Command Triggered. And we don't have a command created for this yet, so we're going to hit Create Command. And we're going to call it Lurk. And then under Commands right here, this is where you can set what will activate it, and you can set different aliases for it. So for this one, we're going to do lurking, and we're going to do lurk. I'm not going to put it in a group for right now, but this is also where you can separate it in groups within your commands tab. We don't need a counter, and we don't need it to be case sensitive. You can set a cooldown on your commands here, and if you want, right now, this is allowing everyone. You can also switch this to deny everyone. But if we leave it on allow and then move our moderators over, then right now only the moderators can activate this command. So we're gonna take them back off. We want everyone to be able to use this. And we're gonna click OK. And now this should be showing lurk. Click OK again. Now our trigger is set once someone types into chat and says !lurk. It will trigger this action. Now we just need under sub actions to set what will happen once it is triggered. So to set our sub action, we're going to right click and we're going to go to Twitch. We're going to go to user, and then we're going to get user info from target. And then under the source type, we're going to do user and click OK. And basically what this is doing is it is going to save as a variable who redeemed it. So you can change this so that it would be the broadcaster information. You can do from input. So if you have a chat command where they put !point something and then put a user's name or something afterwards, you can do that. But we're going to stick with user because we want to repeat their name back to them, essentially. And then under Twitch again, and then chat, we're going to send a message to channel. And then to get that variable to pop up, we do %, target, user, then close it with a %, and then we're gonna say, will be lurking in the shadows. And then under here, you'll see send using bot account or fallback to broadcaster. You can leave those checked because if you're using a bot account, it will send it using that account and then it will fall back to a broadcaster if you don't have a bot account set. We can just leave both of those checked, it'll be fine. Click OK. And now our first command is created. In order to test that, you can go up to the top here to this chat button, click that. That should open a chat window that is connected to your account. And then we can do !lurk. And it responds with Dark Voyager will be lurking in the shadows. So congrats, you just made your first command in StreamerBot. The next action we're going to create is a timer. This is essentially the same thing as the last command we made, but instead of being triggered by someone in chat, it will go off at a regular interval. And you can use this for posting a link to your YouTube or your Discord, or just saying something funny every certain amount of time. We're going to have it linked to our Discord account, so we're going to hit add. We're going to call this Discord timer. We're going to leave it default. Click OK. Under triggers, we're going to go to core and timed actions. We're going to create a timer. We're going to just call it Discord again. We're going to have the interval for this video. I'm going to set it really short so that we can see it happen. But you can choose to either do a time interval or lines interval. The lines is a good option if you don't want it to repeat itself constantly, even if no one is in chat, so then it's just sending that repeatedly. This will activate after a certain amount of lines in chat has been reached. So if you set it to 2 after 2 messages other than itself has been sent, then it will repeat itself. But we're going to leave it at 10 seconds for this example. We're going to leave it repeating and enabled and click OK. Click OK again. And then under sub actions, we're going to just go to Twitch, chat, and send message to channel. And then we're going to say, check out Dark Voyager's Discord server at, we're going to go get our invite link, paste that in, click OK. And now every 10 seconds in chat, it should be sending our Discord link. Wait a couple more seconds, see if it pops up again. There it is. Gonna go ahead and deactivate that so it's not running every 10 seconds, but we successfully made a chat timing command. We're going to create a simple channel point reward system. And to do that, we're just going to right click in actions, same as we have been. And we're going to say, we're going to call this one boo. And we're going to have the channel point redemption activate a sound effect that will play on your system. And it will essentially just boo me. If I did something bad or I said something bad, chat will be able to boo me. I'm not going to put it in a group right now. Click OK. Right click on triggers. And we click Twitch. And then go to channel reward, reward redemption. And we're going to create a new one. And we're going to call this Bad Streamer Man. We're going to have it cost 1 for now, just as an example. This will boo at Dark Voyager. We're going to leave it enabled. This you can also set a user input required if you want the user who redeemed it to put something else in the chat You can have it skip your rewards queue here. You can set a color. You can set the maximum amount of times it can be used per stream. You can set the maximum amount of times it can be used per person per stream. And you can also set a cooldown. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to leave it blank. Click OK. Click OK again. And then under sub actions, we're going to go to core. We're going to go to sounds, and we're going to have it play a sound. Find our sound file by clicking on the 3 dots. And then here's our booing file. Click OK. We're going to turn it down a little bit because it's usually pretty loud. And there's our sound effect. There's a test button here if you want to check how loud it is or check to make sure it's the correct sound file. Then you can click OK. Now under platforms, Twitch and channel points, we should have a Bad Streamer Man reward, and we can go and test that on our channel. Bad Streamer Man. Click that and redeem it. And now it works. And lastly, we're going to make a quick action just to give you guys a demonstration of how you can activate a command if you get a new Twitch event, like a follower or a subscription. It's going to be the same, essentially the same way as we did the lurking command. We'll just add a new one and call it new follower. Click OK. Under triggers, we right click and go to Twitch and then channel and follow. And this will trigger when we get a new follower. Now we'll go to our sub actions. We'll go back to Twitch. We'll get our user info for our target. Go to user. And then we'll do a chat message. And we'll say target user. Thank you for the follow. And now when we get a new follower on the channel, it will automatically respond to it and say thank you for the follow. Now that we have that, we've got a few actions, few basic actions. Hopefully you have a better understanding of the user interface, what you can do with it. I mean, there's a huge number of possibilities of different combinations. I'm going to be making another video coming up pretty soon, going more in depth into StreamerBot. So if you have any questions or you have any commands you'd like to see made and get a better understanding of how you would do that in your own channel, drop them in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Peace.